talk about a major pay-per-view. It goes down October 22nd in Abu Dhabi. It's UFC 280. This thing has come together like very few cards in a while, Luke. I mean, God, they are giving this legitimate major feel. We already know Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw for the bantamweight bout title, in the co-main event. Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev for the vacant lightweight title. In the main event, we already knew Bilal Muhammad and Sean Brady at welterweight. How about this, though, Luke? We could do these one by one or as a whole, but here's the whole, and you can tell me your reaction. Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan at bantamweight. Beneil Dariush versus Mateus Gamrot at lightweight. Marina Rodriguez versus Amanda Lemos at women's strawweight. That's 6 fan-friggin-tastic fights, Luke Thomas.
That is, I mean, just A-plus quality. Just A-plus. You're not going to see main cards look like that very often anywhere.
That's like UFC 217 and 205 level, correct? Except for the star overall, like through-the-roof star power?
Right. So this is worth noting. Now, no, you could say Sean O'Malley is very popular, and he is, but he was on the UFC 276 card, and of course he wasn't in a headlining role, but that card, was, I think, to some people's estimation, it sold well, but it didn't sell like, it was, not up to expectations, like, 700-800K. No one on that card, and I think this is a fair, tell me if you disagree, no one on that card is a major proven pay-per-view draw. Now, you could maybe argue a little bit for Oliveira, but that's not entirely true. Not like, there's not a full like battery of pay-per-views he's headlined to give us a full indication of that. Certainly not the case with Makhachev. Obviously, in the co-main, Sterling is a very amazing champion, but hasn't proven to be a pay-per-view draw. TJ Dillashaw, kind of interesting, but he's never on his own sold above, I think, 500 or so. So the point I'm trying to make here is there's a lot of just an overwhelming amount of fight quality and relevance and stakes. But part of the reason they're kind of all grouped together, I think, is that you need all of them to do a decent to good buy rate. Individually, there's not a huge pay-per-view draw to the point of... And 205, by the way, had, I think, 3 title fights. This just has 2. But that aside, it will do well on pay-per-view. It will do pretty well. The quality is extraordinarily high. I can't say on that level one single critical thing about it.
I believe there's a press conference for that card actually going on right now, Luke, from the UFC. But let's stay right here. I got a couple of key questions about this card. It's freaking fantastic. Aligned in some of these key pay-per-view card bouts are same divisions as the title opportunities in the main or the co-main. So, Luke, if something happened to either Charlie Olives or Islam Makhachev during fight week for the lightweight title, would you see somebody from the Dariush Gamrot fight get bumped up, and who would be more likely?
Well, Dariush would be more deserving, right? He's done more at the higher end of this division, I think. I think that feels right.
Or maybe Michael Chandler is going to show up again and cut weight again. Right. You never know, Luke, Right. So if I'm the UFC, I'm not counting on like just robbing Peter to pay Paul from the same card. I would actually bring in somebody else, if at all possible. And Chandler or Poirier is a name you could bring. And I was going to ask you the same question about Sterling and Dillashaw fighting for the bantamweight title. Damn, you got Yan and O'Malley going against each other on the same card. Who would get the nod between those two?
Well, see, here's the thing. You would say Yan because he's the number 1 ranked contender, but he just... Okay, let me ask you this. If it's Dillashaw that falls out, and so Sterling is the one who needs a title opponent, it probably would be... I can't believe I'm fucking saying this. Well, what do you think they would do? Would they give a title shot to Sean O'Malley? That seems insane.
The one thing they have a proven history of is fast-tracking superstars into title. I mean, look, they fast-tracked Ngannou into Stipe so quick. They fast-tracked Ozdemir into DC because there was nobody else. I mean, they'll do that, Luke, when there's a spark and they need it. Yeah, you're damn right they're going to do that, okay? No disrespect to Petr Yan. I don't think we're itching to see that trilogy bout right now at this moment. He just lost soundly.
You're right. You're right. I mean, he's the higher-ranked guy by a million miles, but you're right. So, but here's the thing. What if Sterling falls out and now they got to make an interim? Do you do Yan versus Dillashaw or do you do O'Malley versus Dillashaw? That's
why they get paid the big bucks to sit in that war room and make those decisions, Luke. It's pretty interesting. I mean, because think about it. If you last minute threw O'Malley in there, you'd have to think the buys rise, right? Like, because he's got his own fan base. They're already going to be buying this pay-per-view, but it does sort of, he is the crossover potential guy of the moment, right? I mean, now you're finding, oh, he's in a title shot? Dude, I got to buy that. Yeah, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, Luke? That's interesting. On the same topic, we said we both agree. I mean, it's obvious how loaded this is. Maybe this is the beginning of an annual loaded October fight card. Not really the beginning, because we've seen Khabib there in the past. We've seen, we've seen Fight Island be an island of savior during the COVID run. Why is this so stacked right now, Luke? Why is that specifically filled out this deep? Is it just to offset the lack of star power in the main event, is it deeper in terms of relationships and money? And
I suspect that they want to bring a quality card to Abu Dhabi, right? Because they have a former relationship, it seems, with the folks over there. So that's partly it, right? They want to do some good there. And remember, they brought Khabib in the past, and they brought big fights there. They don't have anyone of Khabib's level, but they've got Makhachev, and they've got some other things that could be interesting to that market. So yes, I do absolutely think that bringing a spectacular card to the Etihad Arena is important for them, and that counts. Again, I go back to the fact that you've got a lot of interesting components here by themselves, not huge draws, but collectively together could probably do a lot, bit of a super team thing, and that's it too. Also, Nate Diaz is fighting at UFC 279. It wouldn't make sense to put, like, Diaz and Makhachev could fight at the Apex with no crowd, and there's no other fights on the card. Like, literally, you just pay for Diaz and Makhachev, and it would sell an absolute shit ton. Diaz and Chimaev, I'm sorry. So it would sell an absolute shit ton. So they're trying, I think, to balance the schedule as best they can with the competing interests that are involved. But, dude, I think we're kind of burying the conversation here a little bit. Let's go talk about Sean O'Malley for a second, dude. You've got Sean O'Malley, who had, at best, what would you call the fight against Munoz? Inconclusive? I think is a good way to put it, inconclusive. And he goes from that, being ranked 13, to taking on the number one contender, the former champion. So in back-to-back days, they had, I think Chimaev was like the number 2 guy at welterweight, something like that, taking on unranked Nate Diaz, a fight that by itself doesn't make sense for those reasons. Then the next day, they put number 1 against number 13. BC, I could have sworn we have heard that, oh, well, these fights are made because so-and-so was ranked 4th and 5th or 6th and 7th, and we just have to put them in these kinds of ways. They totally abandoned any pretense of that. Do you like that they did it? Not that you like the fight. The fight's kind of interesting for all those reasons, but that this whole, like, fuck it, rankings don't matter right now. We're just going to make these fights eat shit.
Yeah, I don't just like it, I love it. And it goes against some of the creed of the things you see me arguing for. But again, let's not act like it's not true. If you're the best looking chick at the dance, the UFC is going to, allow you to cut the line. And it's been proven and it's happened. I mean, everybody, even Ronda Rousey got to walk in the door and fight for a title on day one. But, Brock Lesnar, let's rush him in. It's just what happens. It's weird that they're kind of just giving him the win against Munoz, basically, and just moving him along. But, Luke, it was also weird to see him in 3 straight fights against not the typical level of competition that you would expect or want for somebody who not too long ago missed 2 years because of USADA, which kind of slowed down his growth. And right now, star-wise, he's ready to fight for a title. Ability-wise, inconclusive, yet the flashes are brilliant. And we get a chance to find out right frickin' now who he is against somebody like Petr Yan level. Already, as just another nugget in this loaded-ass card, I'd be a fool to complain, Luke. Yeah. I mean, did he get the money he was looking for by fighting that battle, Luke, of I'll take on less ranked, it seemed to have worked out for him. It seems the company's all in. I don't know the financial details, but it seems
I have a feeling after hearing what, I got a pretty good sense of what Max Holloway makes gaming. I have a feeling that Sean O'Malley makes a fucking metric ton doing that kind of thing. And I think that's probably where he makes the majority of his money. I don't know. But
I have to believe that his whole public of I might be a free agent, I'm just fighting, until you pay me to fight a top 10 guy, that season that's now over, I have to believe that helped him, Luke, get this type of opportunity. Obviously, at the end of the day, he's got to be the one that says, yes, I'll fight Jan right now. I'm ready. And I give him kudos to him for doing that and not feeling like he needed a slower, longer, build. I mean, he's been on a long build with the combination of the 2 years off and some of that matchmaking of late, which wasn't great. But it is great now. Munoz was a great matchup for him, and as inconclusive as it was, we're not going to go out of our way to run that back. The time is now, Luke. If Jan's willing, and boy is he, I mean, are you more excited about this fight than any other on the card? It's kind of a weird trick question because they're all flamethrowers, Luke.
No, I'm not. I got to tell you, I'm not going to say I'm equally interested in all of them, but dude, I'm like majorly interested in all of them, right? So let's go down the list. Who's going to be the lightweight champion? And you have Charles Oliveira, who is the most, I mean, what a phenomenal, not turnaround to his career, but journey, I think is a good way, I hope to put it, against this guy that is the presumed next to Khabib, whether that's fair or not, right? And I'm not saying it's true or it's not, but there is this talk about him in that way, sort of like, Khabib has kind of knighted him as the replacement, and he has done really great work in this division. Let's see what he can do. That's huge. Then you have the bantamweight title fight. Do I even need to say, like, it's the best division in MMA, arguably, with the existing champion who has proven douchebags like you and me wrong in getting that win in his last fight against Jan, against Dillashaw, who, never had the bantamweight belt taken from him except administratively. Then you have Sean Brady, who I think might be, I mean, that guy's got title potential written fucking all over him, but this guy, Bilal Muhammad, has proven to be a genuine force at 170 pounds. Whether you think his game is exciting or not is irrelevant. That fucker wins and is a very tough fight for anyone. And hello, by the way, Palestinian American. I think that audience over there is going to be, boosting him up a little bit as well. So that's kind of important. Then you've got Dariush taking on Gamrot. Dariush, by the way, super skilled, but just willing to have all-out action fights against a guy like Gamrot, who has just an insane gas tank, plus next level kind of overall game. And then you go to Sean O'Malley, who is all the things about this, next level guy, but has somewhat improved. And the 2 times he's gone up in rank, it's been these weird kind of fights. Well, here he can jump all of that shit. I mean, nothing would validate Sean O'Malley more. Forget about the hype and the hair and all that shit. Nothing would validate him more than beating Jan. Like the number one guy, the former. You beat fucking Jan. That's about as credible a win as they get at bantamweight. It's exactly what Sterling needed, by the way, to get some respect finally from everyone, media and fans alike. You put Sean O'Malley on that level, it's amazing. Conversely, if Jan gets that win over O'Malley, he gets to get a huge popularity boost and then get right back to the swing of things against whoever's there. Dude, every fucking way you look at it, this card is just quality at every level. Stakes, high levels, the very best division, 4 titles, 4 contendership, 4 legacy. It's huge. So which one do I like the best? For all different reasons, they're all great.
Wow. There was some real passion in that, LT.
I love this card, bro.